Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing this morning? Good? Yes, enjoying the conference so far? Okay, great. So my name is Łukasz Pawłowski. I'm a program manager on the Power BI service team. I'm responsible for a number of different areas, workspaces, distribution, apps, B2B collaboration. I did a session yesterday about that. Enterprise reporting, I have a big hand in what we do there. Today I wanted to really focus on apps, how apps can help you distribute content to everyone in your organization so that users can get the information that they need. And what we're going to do is we're going to really focus on the value of apps. I'm going to show you some of the new capabilities around how you can build more compelling, easier to use apps with the new navigation builder. And then we'll go into some tips and tricks, and we can maybe have some time at the end for some conversation. Okay? When we talk about Power BI, there's multiple ways you can distribute content. But apps are designed to help you distribute official content to all the users who need it so that you have a consolidated view of all the data you need to make business decisions. Okay? And that's super important. There's different ways to distribute content in Power BI. You can share a report. You can give someone access to a workspace. But apps shine when you have like 18,000 sales reps, and you need to make sure that they don't get it wrong. They close the deals, they know they're attaining their quota. Or you have an executive team, and the executive team needs to make sure they have a roll-up of all the official metrics from which they can make truthful decisions about the health of your organization and its objectives. And what you do is you compile that information into an app, you publish it. Typically, the app contains multiple pieces of content, sometimes authored by many different parts of your organization, but it provides a consolidated view. And I'm going to show you how the new app navigation that we've created helps you do that really easily. One of the important aspects is that when we talk about organizations, there's different ways in which you roll out data. There's Self-service BI, and Power BI has been on this journey. We started from these very eager users who wanted to virally sort of adopt Power BI. They saw a better mousetrap. They wanted their users to use it. They started creating content. Some of that was organically created, organically shared. And when that happens, it becomes more difficult to maintain because no one really knows which report is the right one. So for self-service BI teams, and we see this a lot at the business unit level, right? One manager may be responsible for one part of the business, but they have stakeholders outside that one business unit. And what they need is they need those people to see the official view of how that business unit is doing. They can publish an app so that all the stakeholders have their bottoms-up style information. At the same time, we have centralized BI teams. When we talk about 18,000 sales reps, you bet there's an IT person there building the official view of what quota attainment means to the organization. And so it's programmatically pushing that information out, disseminating to everyone who has access. You can even install apps automatically so that when the person first comes into Power BI, they see it on their home. Those are aspects of how centralized BI deployments can ensure the organization has the data they need to make that data-driven decision. So apps are very much applicable no matter where you are in your life cycle, and they're a tool that you have for ensuring everyone has access to the data. Now, apps traditionally have been fairly basic things, and a lot of users had some challenges understanding what's really the difference between just sharing a report and putting that report in an app. And what we did with the new navigation builder is we helped you build really compelling, easy to use apps so users immediately see the value. They let you do things like separate out content into a navigation. A lot of the dashboards we see dashboards with 130 metrics, little boxes. Everyone's scrolling through those things. They're never really happy because they can't find the overview and they can't find the details easily. Now, apps with a new navigation help you break those things apart, give logical groupings, and I'll show you how to do that here in a second. So the new navigation is all about making it easier for you to create more compelling apps that look professional, that will have your users really desiring to use Power BI and the analytics that you're providing. So with that, there's enough talk. Let's go into a demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my Power BI. Who here has published an app before? Okay, wow, only half of you, that's great. So I'll do some foundational concepts here, as well as showing the demo. So first off, this is Power BI Home. We shipped this a little while ago. It's when a user comes in, they can see a consolidated view of all the information that's important to them. One of the things that we do is we allow users to, if they're using things frequently, we can show it to them. If they use something recently, it's showing to them. We even do things like showing the apps that the user has used. However, mostly apps are found in the apps list. And so here I have a large set of apps, everything from things for GitHub or Google Analytics, a partner portal, but I'm going to focus on this vehicle sales app. Because in this case, I'm an organization that maybe is creating, selling vehicles in some way, or maybe I have a supply chain, and I need to make sure that everyone has access to the same information. And what I've just opened is an app that was created using the new navigation builder. What you'll notice immediately is how customized this looks. It's a single cohesive experience. I've used colors throughout to draw the user. Power BI got out of the way. You notice that here on the left-hand side, it's just focused on the content that's inside the application, and then this is the beautiful content that I've authored. This is just a Power BI dashboard, themed along with the color of the app. Right? So we give you a lot of tools for making these things very customized. Of course, as I go through this, I can go expand, I can see different reports I may have added. In this case, sorry, that's a dashboard again. Here's a report. And I can choose to theme them or not theme them as I choose. But I have a consolidated navigation on the left-hand side here for all the content. So it's super, super easy for people to see an overview and drill into details. Of course, we support all the linking. So if I have a dashboard with a set of overview metrics, when you click on one of those, it'll take you to another part of the app, and you'll see exactly where you are in the navigation. So it's really easy to build these high-level summary views, one click, go to the details. Okay? Other things you can do is you can actually go and integrate additional capabilities in here. So here, for example, I've integrated a video directly within my app. So maybe you have users who've never used Power BI before or never used your app before, and you need a friendly way to educate them about how to use Power BI. So now you have a tool in the new navigation builder to let you integrate that content. Notice, they're still inside the app, which means that you don't have them flying around in different browser windows. You just have them focused on the task, which is making good business decisions. You can even do things like integrate surveys. So in this case, I've opened a new browser window, and I have a survey. The number one mistake teams make about their content, I'll tell you this is something for all of us to take away, is they fail to ask their users how good their content is. And turns out a lot of users have helpful suggestions for the authors. And so it's really interesting that now you can actually integrate those kinds of feedback experiences directly in the content you're producing for the broad mass of users. And you can iterate towards something that's very, very well tailored for your organization. Great. So with that, I've shown you what an app can look like. Now let's transition to showing how I go ahead and create one of them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my Power BI, and we're going to start from scratch. So what I'm going to do is apps are published from workspaces. So I have two workspaces here. One is called App Navigation Demo, and the other one is App Navigation Demo 2. So I'm going to start with just sample content in Power BI. Okay, so this is literally all I did to get this content was I went to get data, chose samples, and started judiciously clicking these boxes. Okay, so when you go back to your offices or on your laptops later today, you can try this demo out without any kind of concerns. Just create a new workspace, go start using the demos, or sorry, using the samples. So let's go back. Now you'll notice that I have a set of dashboards here, something about customer profitability, IT spend, opportunity analysis, procurement. I have a set of reports, similar ones, and a set of data sets in here. Now for my users, maybe this customer profitability sample is a really wonderful name, but it's not going to get across to my user what they understand this is. They just want to know this is the customer report. Okay? Now internally, when I'm building the content, I may have names that are relevant to my team. right? We know which report it is. It's customer profitability report, December 2019 or 2018, it's the version for this quarter. I'm making changes and tweaks and so forth, right? And I'm going to show you how the navigation builder lets me customize the experience. So let's do that. So to create an app, for those of you who've never created an app, in an app workspace, you see this Publish App button, okay? And so I'm just going to go ahead and press that. And now what we get is we get an experience for creating an app. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus in a little bit to show you things. Now you notice by default, the app name is the same as my workspace name. That's nice. But actually, this is a vehicle sales app, right? So how about we just rename it? Perfect. Description. Great. Now, one of the things that we've done here is we've enabled you to also provide a support site. One of the big things that happens in large organizations is that when you have like 18,000 salespeople or you have an executive team, people know that you are the author. And then 18,000 people send you an email at 4 in the morning when something's going on. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say you. Each of us have experienced this, right, I think, in our lives. So what we've enabled you to do is to put a support site here. So if you have a support process where users can open a ticket, get feedback, or have announcements about the health of the data sets and so forth, you can just put it in there. So I'm just going to go put that in, and I'm just going to use bing.com, just for fun. The next thing that I can do is I can actually choose an app logo. And one of the great things about this, as you can see lots of different photos here, is I can choose a nice little photo for my app. And I can tailor this. Here I can choose from a rich set of theme colors, newly updated and enhanced, so you have nicer colors. They also align with the Dynamics colors. So if you're using one of the Dynamics apps, you can actually start having a really nice color consistency. I'm going to choose the default, but they're all beautiful, beautiful colors. Okay. So now that I've done the Setup tab, let's go and see where the magic is here in the Navigation tab. In the Navigation tab, there's two things to notice. First off, there's an on switch. This defaults to on for new apps you create, but you can turn it off. Many organizations already have apps. Those apps, it defaults to off because you get to have the same experience you've curated and you're already supporting. You can choose when to upgrade at any time, and you can go back and forth between them. So you can go experiment. My recommendation, start a new app, see what it is, see if you like it, test it with some users, see what the reaction is, and then manage that change process if you're already using apps. Now this navigation builder allows me to completely customize the content. You'll notice that by default the content is just listed here in order, right? Nothing special. But you have a little detail card here. And so if I wanted to, I could actually go and say, customer overview. And you'll notice that in the navigation here, it's changing. So I'm customizing already what's going on, right? So IT spend analysis, so spending. Nothing interesting here yet, right? So I go opportunities. Let's go through a couple more. Procurement, fine. We could just go choose a couple more here. Profitability, that looks good. Now these ones I'm just going to leave the way they are. Now what's interesting about the app is that some of these things are reports, like the one that I have selected right now, right? So this one it's a report. It's going to have pages. And what you noticed from the demo earlier is that the pages and the page names from that report are integrated into the navigation. So pro tip number 1, check your page names. A lot of them are page 1, page 2. Okay? Users don't like that. They don't know what page 1 means. They don't want to memorize numbers. They would like helpful names. So go ahead and add that as part of this process. I haven't done that for this demo. The next thing that we can do is we can use this alluring new button. The new button lets me do 2 critical things. The first is to add sections. And I'm going to show you that. And we'll come back to links here in a second. So when I add a section, I can, of course, give it a name. Right? So let's say profitability. Perfect. And what I can do is I can now go and move that around. So of course I can move any of these items up and down. So let's just go ahead and move it up to to almost the top. What I can do next is I can take some of these reports, like I have this profitability report, right? What I can do is actually select it and move it into the profitability section. And you notice it just jumped up right here into the profitability section, okay? I can also create more sections. So let me just go ahead and create another section. I say, detailed reports. And so again, it's here at the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rest of these reports and just move it into that section. Really nice and easy. Nothing too technical here. I can move the order around if I wanted to. I can go close that out. Perfect. Now what I can do, though, is I can take this customer overview, and maybe what I just want to call this is just overview, right? That's just the dashboard. You'll notice that I'm just working with the existing content that I have. But as you think about this, and you think about this navigation and what logically makes sense to go on the dashboard or on a given report, do start playing around with the idea that maybe you need to refactor some of your content. We've seen, as I mentioned earlier, these dashboards with hundreds of visualizations on them. Those are rife for refactoring. They're kind of slow, they're clunky to use, you don't know where things are. A lot of those could benefit from being split into multiple dashboards and then just included as individual items here with an overview and section details in the navigation. Because it's all in the navigation, it's visible to your users. They don't have to guess, you don't have to send multiple links, you just send one link to the app and everything here is nicely curated. Great, so maybe this is good enough, and for the sake of this demo, I'm going to leave it where it is. The next thing you can do is you can add links. Now, links are super interesting because what you can do is you can do two major things. One is you can link people to other related content somewhere else. A lot of us have line of business apps. The procurement system, right? To get an approval, you have to go to some place. Well, it would be helpful if when I'm looking at the procurement metrics, I can go link over to the procurement app. Wouldn't that be nice? So I can go and provide links out to places. SharePoint sites are another example. If this app is part of a compendium of multiple apps, you can go link out to them. You can actually link directly to apps, right, in Power BI, and it'll just take the person to that app. Okay? The other thing that you can do is you can actually choose where these things open. We have New tab, the Current tab, or the Content area. And I'm going to specialize a little bit on the Content area. When I showed that video, or I showed that form, we were able to actually embed that directly within the app. I'm going to show you how to go do that here in a second. So let's go start playing with this. So let's go and say how to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my little links here. And I have this little embed URL from Stream. I'm going to paste it in. So just paste that one right in here. Great. The next thing I'm going to do is let's just go over, and I'm going to need to zoom out so we can actually see this, is I'm going to go and take a look at a Word document. Now, this is just a Word document in SharePoint. And this document may include lots of helpful information here that, like how to get started, contact information, I don't know. Maybe a detailed description of all of the metrics that are in the data model for the app and how they're calculated, which is like this data dictionary kind of concept is something that lots of people devote a page in a report to. The problem is that same data dictionary is standardized for the data set. In the world of shared data sets, it's going to become even more important, right? Because that data set lives in a different workspace, and you can reuse it everywhere. So wouldn't it be helpful to publish a data dictionary somewhere and just link it into the various experiences that you have? So in this case, what I'm going to go do is I am going to come back, zoom out again, so I can actually see the UI controls. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to press Share. And under Share, there's this Embed option. Now, importantly, the embed option is available for any document that you have in SharePoint. So if you have a Word document, a PowerPoint, and so forth, you can actually embed all of those. Now, notice in Power BI, in the UI builder, we require a URL. And the way to get that URL is actually to come into this embed code. And here, under this little SRC tag, right on in here, this little URL, if I can get it, can I get it, can I get it, can I get it? Almost, there we go. It's really not liking me. Let's go here. Gonna grab that one. Okay, so I have the iframe, what's called the SRC tag. And it's called the SRC tag because it starts with SRC, okay? And now what I can do is I can take that over to my Power BI and paste it right on in. Let's go create another link, sorry. Perfect. The last step of publishing an app is setting up the access to it. Now you get to choose who in your organization can access the content. The great thing about this is that you define the access list once, and it covers all of the content you've included in the app. So it's very easy to manage. Unlike sharing reports individually, where a user will get 5, 10, 15 different links that they have to look at, the app URL, when we publish this, will give them one URL, and all of the access will be managed here. Now you have various options. You can choose to share with the entire organization, which will allow anyone in the organization to use it, or you can choose specific users. By default, any workspace user that can publish the app also has access. So here what I can do is I can just use all Power BI Pro users. So what I did was I created a priori a security group, and I put everyone who needs access to the app in the security group. I can actually use all of my standard access management technologies, whether it's dynamic groups in Azure Active Directory, PowerShell scripts, a third-party access management and request approval system, to manage who's in that security group. And then I just set just the security group here. So that way it's easy to roll out that app to anyone as they onboard into jobs in my organization or exit those jobs, right? So they only have access to the apps that they need. So let's go and just go choose that. In addition, we have a number of options down here below. You notice that install app automatically here, it's actually disabled. As a Power BI admin, I can choose who in my organization can install apps automatically for my user. That prevents clutter. But if I'm an IT team, I can actually make sure that the CEO and the executive team or individual users in individual roles have exactly the apps pre-installed for them that they need to make good data-driven decisions. The other things I can do here, and these are new options that we just released yesterday, is the ability to let users personalize that content that's inside the app or connect to the underlying data sets to build their own personal views. One important aspect of building a data culture is ensuring users have relevant data that helps them quickly make decisions. A lot of apps, though, are designed for a broad audience. And when you're designing for a broad audience, individual users' needs are sometimes left on the floor because you can't accommodate all of them. You don't have the time, or you don't even know what they all are. And so I'd encourage you to start using these options because they allow apps to be able to be more personalized for the end user so they can make decisions with the data you're publishing more easily. So with that, we can just go ahead and publish the app. Now when I publish, it's going to take just a second. I get a URL, and you'll notice it's a pretty straightforward URL. And what I can do now is I can copy that URL and I can distribute it to the people that need it. Sometimes that's on a SharePoint site, sometimes you send it through an email, sometimes, I don't know how you do it. You could just send it out. And that user will be able to access this app. Now, for the sake of this demo, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go press the Go to App button. Great. So now it's going to take a second, and network permissive, it's going to work seamlessly. Let's see. I was having problems with this earlier. There's some network thing here that's preventing this from going directly. My apologies. Okay. It doesn't seem to want to install quite yet. So the user, when they click on that URL, will get an experience like the one that we were showing at the beginning. Now you'll notice that my content in my app was a little bit more bare bones. We have features like dashboard theming and report theming that you can use to heavily customize those reports and those dashboards to meet the theme and the needs of your users. Perfect. So with that, we've covered how to create an app in Power BI using the new navigation. Before we end, I wanted to cover a couple of things that I covered in the demo, but I really wanted to make a couple of points. Number one, this ability to support users at scale is incredibly important. You should set the support URL, it's available to the users. Two, embed in content area extends how much value you can get from the app. Specifically, if you have on-premises solutions or legacy BI solutions that you're migrating away from towards Power BI, you can often embed those directly in the app, so you don't have to rebuild everything right away and then migrate at the pace that you desire. App report personalization, those are those two options for save a copy of a report and build on the data sets for the app. Allows users to tailor the app content, the official content that you provided, connected to the original official data set, so they can make their personal view that's still respecting the truthfulness of the data. And the last thing is, allow users to build new reports on the data set. A lot of the times, your organization has different needs than what the app was designed for. Letting users play and explore and then communicate back to you what their other needs are will help have that data culture conversation as you try to roll out data for data-driven decision making. Embed in content area is something that I wanted to also cover a little bit more detail. You notice that I pulled that iframe URL and embedded it inside the app. That's great. It doesn't always work. Why? Typically, websites will choose whether they're embeddable or not. And some websites are not embeddable. They just won't let you. And it's nothing that Power BI team or Microsoft can really do about it. It's a choice that the web application developer, when they're building it, chooses. So your mileage will vary. The second thing is, don't try to use it for links to Power BI content. I've already seen a couple of Twitter posts saying, I went to the report in some other workspace, and I copied the URL from the address bar, I put it in the link, and it didn't render. Well, that's not an embed URL, so it's not going to render. But more so, if you're building an app, what you should be doing is you should be using the new copy feature, which we released yesterday, to copy that content into your workspace, add it natively to the navigation, and you'll get much better experiences for your users. All the actions will be available to you, and you'll be able to roll that up in a logical way inside your app. So do play with that, but bear in mind, not everything will always work. The other thing is I showed the apps list a little bit. Just be aware if you've never used apps before, when you install an app, it's in the apps list in Power BI, which is a single place where users can see all of that official data. So with that, I'd like to thank you for taking your time. These apps really lets you take your data sharing to the next level, ensuring that everyone in your organization has the data they need in order to make truthful, data-driven decisions in an easy-to-use way that's consolidated and designed by you for a specific purpose. And that's going to help them be more efficient as they're trying to do their jobs. So really encourage you to take a look at the app navigation. It's super easy. The demo I showed you, you can do that at home. I just used samples. I just played with the app builder. So there's no harm, no foul. Go try it, publish it, get some feedback. And I have a link here to the documentation where you can learn all about it. So with that, thank you so much. If we have some time, I can answer some questions, or I can be off to the side here, answer questions. So I'll be just over here answering questions, okay? Thank you.